Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
It is Upset Saturday. That's what I'm calling this weekend in college football. I might be wrong, though.
And we got 2 live shows this Saturday.
Big weekend for us. Like, subscribe, comment, help the algorithm.
We love you.
Thank you. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. It's like an American Pie song. American Pie
I don't know
2,
the
maybe?
song, but
I'm not sick, but I'm not well.
Flagpole Sitta.
By Harvey Danger, yeah. Yeah, that's... Look up Flagpoles. Is that on American Pie or American Pie 2 soundtrack? It's on one of them. Might be on both.
it may be
I'm not sick.
movie.
Okay. You could have just done Flagpole. Flagpole Sitta.
No,
She's just doing everything but. She's
I
doing
really
everything
hate
but.
how
I'm
she's
asking.
doing.
Yes.
I hate how she's doing it.
I hate how she's
Fine.
she's Googled American Pie soundtrack. All you gotta do is Flagpole Sitta American Pie. That's all you gotta do.
Flagpole. There we go.
There you go. It's even entered there for you. Not Flagpole installation near me, woman.
No.
Flagpole Sitta American Pie. It's right there. Okay. Is that American Pie or American Pie 2?
Yeah,
it's an
look.
American Pie.
99.
When is it? Is it?
99.
No, I know that. Yeah. Oh, it's right when they're about to. Okay. All right. Thank you. Remember the first time you saw American Pie?
I've never seen American Pie.
What?
Isn't that crazy? I know, and I'm at the age where I should have.
You definitely should have.
I know.
I don't understand if Katie hadn't seen
This is
it.
one of the few movies I actually very distinctly remember the first time I saw it and where.
I do too. I was me and my girlfriend were going to it. We didn't know what it was. We just thought it was just going to be a nice, when you're in
Family
high school
friendly?
or when you're in high school, or early college, your dates are just Applebee's in a movie. You see every movie that comes out. At least that's what we do in Mississippi because we don't have that much else to do. And we saw American Pie, just didn't know what it was, and it was wonderful, fantastic.
I heard about a high-profile college basketball player inviting a girl on a date to a fast food restaurant.
When did that happen?
Happened like last. The woman told me the story about it, but that's a wild thing. I'm not gonna say where, but it was like, let's go on a date to
When I was-
McDonald's,
When I was
Applebee's.
poor and in college,
Let's just march on lunch.
I had a first date with a girl in Arby's.
Well,
No.
this
Huh?
I can
Yeah.
guarantee this guy was not poor at the time,
Okay, all right.
and there was definitely other options.
I met her in an online chat room and said, let's meet at Walmart. And if we like each other, we'll go eat. And we went to Arby's and ate.
That's how you
I liked
stabbed.
her, too. I liked her a lot.
What do you mean? How did you know what she looked like?
She gave me a brief description. Blonde hair, belly button ring.
That's all it took, huh?
Oh, I was
All
done.
it took was a blonde hair and her belly button pierced.
You
That was-
met somebody in a chat room, and then didn't know what
Well,
they
it was the
looked
Starkville,
like.
Mississippi. It was the Mississippi State. It was a Mississippi State board.
Okay, cool.
Site.
This is interesting to me.
Yeah, and her name was Allison, and I met her there. And then, but I was also dating Leanne at the time, and Leanne, I liked her better, even though Allison was way hotter. And then ended up going, and Allison wanted to date me, and I said no, I want to see this thing with Leanne through. And then Leanne ended up cheating on me.
Oh, sorry.
She's a good gal, but she just didn't. She got tired of
sorry.
me.
That was very genuine from Jack. Oh, sorry.
Happens.
It
It
does
happens.
happen.
It happens. And I just made all those names up. None of those names are real.
Can you imagine going into, like, in 2022, going into, like, an AOL chat room now, how
Yeah.
terrifying they would be?
Dude, I lived in the AOL college football chat room in 1998, 99, 2000.
Really?
I ran that fucking place.
I
Yeah.
was too young to be on
What was
those.
your username?
Don't worry about that. Not,
No,
not
what was
important.
it?
Oh,
for
no.
real?
I've said it before.
I know, but say it
No.
again.
It was NBA one day. Yeah.
NBA one day?
NBA one. I thought I was going to be a basketball player.
You've never told me that at all.
I
That
haven't-
makes sense.
I think I said it on the
You're
yak.
pretty good at basketball.
I think I said it on the yak, yeah.
You NBA number one or ONE?
One.
One day.
NBA one, number one day. Yeah.
That's
It
kind
was
of
a good
that's
name.
a pretty sick name.
It was a good name, yeah.
Mine was Funnel Cakes.
Yeah.
Z
Yeah.
Harp.
456, and then I graduated to a hotter screen name, and it was Hoops QT
Yeah.
10.
I remember We've talked about this because I remember Hoops QD10.
I don't remember the NBA part.
I don't-
but that,
yeah, I
I
know
might have
none
been
of
drinking.
I've
that
definitely
day.
been told Hoops QD10 before.
I feel like I've said it before. I remember I used to drink a lot.
Yeah. And the only reason you don't now is because there's a
Right.
there's a human.
Well, but
Right.
that means I used
No,
to.
I don't remember. I've never heard NBA one day.
I've
Yeah.
heard
Thank
Hoops
you.
Cutie though.
I've
I
heard
have-
Hoops Cutie.
I
Yes.
haven't heard either of these.
Okay.
I've heard Hoops Cutie a few times.
Yeah. All right, y'all ready?
That was fun. I didn't realize we were recording, so. I
Oh, we're
apologize.
recording.
Oh, we record everything.
Not everything.
Yeah,
Thank
sometimes
God, right?
we have some good conversations.
Should we let everyone know about our text message conversation?
Well, let's not. First of all, you'd have to let me know about your text message. Oh, God. Those
you.
Listen, our...
No. Never mind. Never
Okay.
mind.
All right.
Spare the people, please.
All right. Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast with Casey Smith and myself, flanked by Jack Mack and Katie Stats with Noah on the ones and twos. And we are brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Folks, you're going to go to a game this weekend. Maybe you're just going to sit on your couch and watch a game. Maybe you're going to go to a deer stand and watch a game. Maybe you're going to go to a bar and watch a game. Wherever you go to watch the game or to not watch the game, take along or request some High Noon Hard Seltzer. I'm looking at the tailgate pack with the pear, the cranberry, the grapefruit, and the black cherry, but wherever you are, you can get the lemon or the peach or the lime or the watermelon or the passion fruit or the mango. I think that's all the flavors.
May I ask a dumb question?
Please, better than anybody I know.
Do people watch games in deer stands?
Now that you have phones, yes.
But isn't it the whole point to be quiet?
You don't have to have the noise up. First of all,
I don't know. I've never been in a deer stand.
In the South,
I've never been a part
there's
of that
not
life.
really deer stands as much as there are shooting houses, and you just sit inside a house that has
What's
a little
the
slat for your
difference?
gun. And
The difference?
shooting house is usually either on the ground or very low,
Ooh,
and you have
okay.
chairs and you have stuff. A deer stand or a tree stand is where you climb up in a tree about 20 feet and then hunt from there.
It's like what you see when people go ice fishing, that hut. It's like that kind.
Yeah,
thing,
something like
but
that.
in the ground.
You'll see a shooting house is usually built probably 2 or 3 feet off the ground, maybe 10 feet off the ground. And then Jack's going to the bathroom. That's fine.
It wore
That's
off.
fine. It's going around today.
Ew, gross. My guy friends in college, they would go on hunting weekends, and I knew that they would take, like, you're just drinking beer, I think, around the clock. Like, you never stop
First of all,
drinking
on
beer.
those hunting weekends with guys, the last thing they were doing was hunting.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were
I didn't
They
care.
were hanging out in the camp house. They were playing video games, drinking beer, talking about titties, and possibly doing drugs.
Although, they did come home with like, not bison. What's the nice deer meat?
Venison,
Veal?
Venison. They
which is
came-
not nice deer meat. It's just deer meat.
Veal.
No,
No, that's
veal
cow.
is baby
That's
cow.
cow.
Yeah.
Baby
I'm
deer.
such a bad Texan.
Venison is
I'm
just deer meat.
But they would come home with backstrap. That's a term.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That
So
is.
they did kill something.
Oh, yeah, but it only takes one deer to be killed to give everybody enough meat for the...
Let me say this loud and clear.
Yeah.
If my man or my guy friends want to go on a hunting trip or a golf trip, I don't care. Go. I don't care what is going on there.
Okay.
Just do it because I want to go on my own weekend too. Because
Right.
I don't want questions of like, oh, you're gonna go shopping and spend all the money and drink wine. Like, I don't care. Go play golf for the weekend. What do I care?
You're a terrific lady, Casey Smith.
Why am I a terrific lady?
All the boys out there that don't get the same thing from their lady are right now
Why would
envious.
I care if they go sit in a cabin and talk about titties?
I don't know. I just relaxed. And nobody accused you of caring. First of
No.
all, you're doing this on your own.
No. I'm saying when you said that the last thing they were doing is hunting, I'm like, I don't really care. Although I do love whenever they would come home with the venison, wrapped jalapeno, stuffed
Poppers,
jalapenos,
yeah.
poppers. Poppers also reminds me of other things now.
Let's get to football. Let's get to
What?
football. Good Lord. You know, I'm not a hunter.
That doesn't surprise
I
me.
grew
You're
up in
too-
a,
you're too nice to be
We
a
have
hunter.
hunting land. We have 200 acres of hunting land with many deer stands, and my whole family hunts. I don't hunt. I can't kill an animal.
That's
I can't
what
kill a
okay.
spider, Casey.
That's what so when I said you're too nice to be a hunter, I have a lot of very nice guy friends, but they have that killing instinct.
What you
in
mean
them.
is I'm too big of a pussy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's I don't think being a pussy means you're too scared to kill animals.
If there's a spider in my room, I will take out tissue paper, I'll put him in there, and I'll take him outside and drop him. I will
Right.
not kill him.
Yeah, no, I
What
think
animal
that's
will
a,
I? I'll
I
kill-
think
I
that's
think-
a sweet characteristic
Cockroach?
of
I
yours.
think the only animal
Oh, I'm killing that motherfucker.
I'll kill a roach. The only other animal I'll kill a roach, I'll kill a mosquito.
Well, mosquitoes.
Mosquito's got to die. Yeah, I'll kill a mosquito.
Mosquitoes were in
Ticks.
the office today. Did you see that? There were a few
are they
flying
on tour?
around.
They do PMT or something?
Yeah, they were flying around this morning.
Doing the car wash?
But yeah, no, I know you're too not. It's not nice because you can be nice and still be a hunter. You're too what's the word?
Gentle?
Docile.
Docile. Lazy.
No,
Gentle.
gentle. You have too much
I
of
truly
a.
am a gentle soul.
You seem
Shut
like
up,
you would
bitch.
be an asshole and you would kill all the animals for fun, but in reality, you wouldn't even kill one to eat it.
I once
don't know
ran
how
over
we got here, but-
once ran over a raccoon in a car, and it tore me down for 3 days.
Oh.
A raccoon. I like raccoons.
Trash panda.
What about a possum?
Possums are good too.
They're gross. They're
Oh,
so
I mean,
gross.
they're necessary
They're mean
animal.
too,
They are mean. Yeah.
and gross. What about rats?
Eh.
Rats don't bother me. Like I wouldn't want them in my house.
Rats don't bother me either. Mice and
like-
rats don't scare me.
When they're running around
Yeah.
in the city, I mean, I don't want to like hang out with one.
I mean,
but-
there they are. That's just them. Let them do their thing.
Yeah, they're not hurting me. I don't want them in my apartment or house, though. I will say that.
You want to talk college football?
Yeah, that was tangent.
I have a statement about the weekend coming up. Before I get to my statement, we're going to talk about the actual weekend because it is big Saturday for Barstool College Football Show, the show that Casey and I are on.
Katie goes.
Katie goes as well. So we'll be getting on a plane tomorrow night, going to State College, Pennsylvania, where we'll start our Saturday, for the first time ever, Barstool's Big Saturday, 2 shows, 2 states in one day. Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning at the Tau Kappa Epsilon House at Penn State University, 10 a.m. for the Ohio State-Penn State game. That is show number 1 for the Barstool College Football Show. We will leave there. We will head deeper into the Big Ten. We'll go to 1300 South Main Street in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where we'll get ready for a 5:30 p.m. show, Michigan State at Michigan.
And 1300 South Main Street is the same place we did the show last year. And
Right by the stadium.
I mean, the big house is right in front of us. Like,
Yeah.
it is, it's not even like, oh, you can kind of see it.
No,
We're in the shadow of it.
It's just right there.
And also,
maybe the closest we ever do a show to a stadium is that one.
it has to be.
I remember one we've done closer.
No, I think it would have to be that one. It's also the place, this is before you were on the show, but the place that Blake Griffin, just absolutely big time Tommy in one of the best ways possible, just wouldn't even act like he existed on the show. That's how long we've been doing it at this location. And I'm excited. I also, Brandon, think that it is a very big day for All Business Pete. Because you know that if something goes wrong at one of these shows, he might have nothing to do with it. It might be out of his hands. But boy, we're making history. And All Business Pete is...
Well, All Business Pete's had been busy because I heard a rumor that, I don't know when it happened, I guess after the Brandon Walker College Football Show last night, that one of the TVs in the Brandon Walker College Football Show studio broke.
What happened to it?
Apparently it got water on it somehow. So, don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened
I don't
either.
know how that
That's
happened.
crazy.
Yeah,
Was that
so
before or after TJ was giving you a hand job?
it's really hard to tell when things happen.
It's not like we're recording or anything.
Yeah, no, and who knows? I mean, it'd be so much tape to go back through to see how it happened, but
We don't even have space to hold it all.
I may have spilled water on the TV.
I saw the clip.
I broke the TV.
I saw the clip.
It's okay.
Who's better, Oregon or Penn State?
Answer
Oregon.
this so carefully.
Oregon.
Oh, Penn State could surprise this week.
I mean,
Now
Penn
that I've
State
been
could
thinking-
surprise me, but right now, if I was going to pick, I would say Oregon. But I also wouldn't throw water around if someone said Penn State was better.
I'm excitable. Very excitable. That's
Yes,
what makes
you
me
are.
special. All right. I'm going to make a statement about this weekend. Are you ready?
I am
Always
more than ready.
ready.
This is not, on paper, the best slate we've had this year. We've had slates with 6, 7 ranked games against each other. This one has 3. But I'm going to go ahead and christen this Saturday, because we have it every year, 2 days before Halloween, Upset Saturday in college football. We are heading into Upset
yeah?
Saturday. I think we have more ranked teams that will lose this weekend than any other weekend in the season. Now, putting aside the games we'll break out and talk about in a second, Ohio State, Penn State, that's number 2 at number 13. You've got number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22, Kansas State. You have number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee. Putting aside all those, I have marked seven teams that I think should be on serious upset alert this weekend.
So whenever I handed you this list of games, I saw you checking them off. I thought those were the games you wanted to talk about. Those are games you think they're going to be upsets.
We could talk about them, yes. At
Oh,
length.
no, I know, but I'm
But
saying,
I
like,
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I have
Wow.
7 ranked teams I think could very well get upset, and that's not including your Ohio State, Penn State, your Kentucky, Tennessee, or your ranked matchups. Okay, are you ready for the 7 I think are on severe upset alert?
I'm ready.
Number 7, TCU at West Virginia. To me, should be on high upset alert. They have, I don't need to get into my thoughts about TCU, but they are now on the road. They've had the majority of these games. 3 of their 4 games that they've won on the road, 3 of the 4 games they've won against ranked teams have been at home. The other one was at Kansas, who took a quarterback injury. Now they're on the road at West Virginia. TCU should be on high upset alert. The Syracuse Orange at home against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Number 16, 6-1. I don't know how good they are. High upset alert. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons, number 10 in the country, only one loss.
It's a weird line.
A tremendously weird line. They're on the road at Louisville, and this line is teeny tiny. Why? Because Louisville's probably going to win the football game. That's 3.
It's down 3.5.
4. Illinois, number 17, Illinois, 6-1, cruising in the Big Ten West, looking like they're about to win the division soon. At Nebraska, upset alert. The last two, number 15, Ole Miss on the road at Texas A&M. I laid this scenario out. Did I already tell you this, or did I just do this on the Brandon Walker show?
You told me.
A&M's about to win the next 4 games.
You told me.
A&M beats Ole Miss this weekend. Upset alert. And number 21, North Carolina at home. Not that I think they're going to lose, but they have been the ranked team that's been closest to losing the most times. They've just survived and survived and survived, and eventually that catches up to you. That's 7 teams, I believe. And listen, there are other games. Number 1, Georgia's hosting Florida. Not hosting, but playing in Jacksonville. You have Cincy at UCF. Oh, I marked that one. I didn't even say it. Cincy at UCF. You have number 10 USC at Arizona. You have Stanford at number 12 UCLA. I just think this could be upset Saturday.
I did not write this one down, but I just remembered I didn't write it down. Number 25, South Carolina against Missouri.
That line's not that line's weird too. South Carolina's number they're 5-2, they're number 25, and that line's down to 3.5, something like that. I mean, these are Jack. What do you think? This feels like, because you never see upset Saturday coming, so maybe I shouldn't predict this. Every ranked team I just mentioned doesn't feel like a pillar of strength. Like these could happen, in my opinion.
100%. Did you mention Kansas State?
Well, because they're a ranked matchup, I'm going to pull them out. We'll talk about them in a minute.
I really like Kansas State, but all that being set aside, I'm sure Michigan fans are nervous heading into Saturday night.
You think? I don't think
so.
they are. I think this Michigan team.
I think they are.
I'll tell you why. And
Tell me.
So Michigan last year lost to Michigan State, but ended up having the better season.
Yes.
So they go into the playoff, and they end up losing. They win the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State. They have a better season. They're in the playoff. It's the first great season they've had in a long time. But even in that great, incredible season, they had to listen to Sparty tell them, but we beat you, but we beat you, but we beat you. All off season, great season, but we beat you, but we beat you, but we beat you. Now we're halfway through the season. We see that Tuck ain't coming. It's at home in Ann Arbor. I think Michigan is going to destroy Michigan State.
Okay, destroy.
That's what I really do. And
I
then,
think so too.
Although I saw a stat where they've been 20-point favorites in the last.
In 2020, they were 21.5 point
And they
favorites
lost outright.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've been double-digit favorites 3 out of the last 4 years or 5 out of the last 5 years, something like that, and they've lost more than they won.
This is the thing about this game, even outside of the revenge factor, because that is huge for me as well, because that's all they've heard about. You see a lot of Michigan State fans have, X amount of days since Michigan has beaten Michigan State, and it's annoying, especially when Michigan had the better season. Also, last year, and we did this on this very show, we would go back and forth on who we thought the better football team was. You thought Michigan State. Jack and I thought Michigan.
That was fair.
That was fair.
That was a fair argument.
Correct. We don't have that argument this year. We know Michigan's the better football team.
We know that for sure.
That's why it feels to me, whereas last year it was kind of like a toss-up of like, you could make the argument either way. This year, I think without a doubt, we all can say Michigan is by far the better football team. However, we all know in rivalry games, weird shit happens.
Also,
always.
Tuck has he has he's owned Harbaugh since he got there.
Yes.
He's 2-0 against Harbaugh. He's won both games. And to me, Michigan's the last couple of years have been about setting right some things that had gone wrong. They had to get back on the map. They had to find who they were. They had to start being Michigan again, and that included beating Ohio State. Well, now I think it also includes stopping this bullshit with Michigan State.
This is a stop that bullshit game.
Correct.
For sure.
This is a fuck the bullshit game. This is a game where all right, we've been dicking around with y'all too long, and now we're about to thump your skull.
We're gonna slap our nuts on the table.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing.
Now, what makes you think? Well, what gives you pause that Michigan State's going to make this a close game?
It's just more gut feeling. Michigan's the better team in almost all facets. I think J.J. McCarthy's going to have a massive game, but I do think there's a scenario where if you Who knows? Maybe Michigan drops a punt. Maybe there's a few missed field goals, an interception that shouldn't have been an interception. And then before you know it, it's 24-17 going into the fourth. Michigan's up, but Michigan State makes a play. That being said, that's not the most likely scenario of this game, of course. I mean, the spread's 23?
Yeah.
Michigan State, they just are an average Big Ten team this year, or even below average.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
That being
season.
said, this is a game that Michigan should really
This is also
thump them. I think Michigan's really good too. So
yeah, this is also, the more we talk about it, it does kind of have the feel of, because Michigan is better than Michigan State across the board, that this could be one of those games where you look at, we know Michigan and Ohio State is the premier rivalry of the Big Ten. We also know that Michigan State lives and breathes beating Michigan. This could be something really weird. I think Michigan will win the game, but would it surprise me at halftime if it was super close, if it was tied, if some things had bounced Michigan State's way? Absolutely not, because it's almost like we're so confident in Harbaugh and Michigan in this spot that makes it feel like maybe something really fucking weird's going to happen.
Confidence is one thing. I just look at these teams and the spot. Like for example, go back out, Katie. Get out of that and go back to where you were. I just want to. There's 110,000 people that can fit inside the big house, right? Mm-hmm. The get-in price for this game is $219 just on base what we're looking at right now, which is on just your ESPN.com schedule.
That's awesome.
The get-in price for 110,000 seat stadium is $219. That means demand is very, very high. I'm telling you, across Michigan, there are Wolverine fans that are absolutely licking their chops. And if they are, I think this team is just a tremendously bad spot for Michigan State, in my opinion.
Oh, it's
night
horrible.
Night game over there, it just feels like they're gonna pump themselves up and they're gonna say, you know what, Tuck coming. He's 2-0 against Harbaugh. Oh shit, it's 28-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I think if you put a little truth serum into Michigan State fans, they would say something very similar to what we've been saying right now. They would never admit it publicly unless they were forced to. Michigan is a better football team across the board than they are this year. There is absolutely no doubt, and Michigan State fans know that team wants revenge for what happened last year, and they're probably pretty scared of what that score is going to look like.
I want to ask you all a question and tell me if this is a stupid theory, a bad theory, a wrong theory, or good thinking, okay?
Go for it.
And it applies in this game, but really it applies more in the Penn State-Ohio State game that we can transition to now. Because we all agree there's two teams probably atop the Big Ten, far and away better than everybody else, and we're probably headed towards, at least we think we're headed towards 11-0 Michigan against 11-0 Ohio State. So, Michigan beat Penn State 41-17. That happened. We all saw it. Do Ohio State and Michigan start competing on Saturdays that they're not competing against each other? Meaning, does Ohio State walk into this game knowing that Michigan beat them by 24 points and is going to absolutely kill themselves to make sure they beat Penn State, or they at least look as good against Penn State as Michigan did? Are they competing throughout the rest of the season even before they get on the field together?
Yes, because even though we can sit here and say all we want, that we don't believe in college football math, we can say that, and then we still do it every single week. Every single team does it. Every single analyst does it. Every single fan base does it, because you always look at what the team that you're playing does to a team you've either already lost to or you've already beaten. So now, and I actually, when you look at this Ohio State-Penn State game, I mean, what's the line? 17?
22.5.
Oh, has it gone all?
How much is it?
I thought it was in the teens.
15
Who are we talking about? 15.5. Oh, were we talking about Michigan State or Michigan? Or
No,
Ohio
I was
State?
talking about Ohio State.
Oh,
Penn State.
yeah. Sorry,
And so
15.5.
the first thing that I did when I looked at that number was to be like, okay, let me do math. How bad did Michigan beat Penn State? So we're already doing it in our own minds, let alone if you are on one of those teams. Because right now, until rivalry weekend, everything about Michigan and everything about Ohio State is just rhetorical until they play each other.
Let me add on to that theory then. Okay, if we have posited that theory and we have said that is a possibility, does that put Ohio State in a dangerous spot? Do they walk into – because, listen, playing Penn State at home, playing Penn State on the road, two different animals. Michigan got to play them at home. Now, you're going into Beaver Stadium. You're going into the belly of the beast. You're going into a place where they haven't lost yet at home. So you're going in there, different animal. If Ohio State's thinking, all right, we gotta go kill them the way Michigan did, all of a sudden you look up, you're in a dogfight Does Penn State have a puncher's chance to win this game?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday.
James Franklin's made a career covering in this game.
Covering maybe, but he
not
is
beating.
He is 0-10 in his last 10 games against top 10 teams.
Keeping it close but not winning.
And if you're a Penn State's coach, you need to be better than 0-10 your last 10 against top 10 teams.
It is definitely not a game that you look at. It's not like an unbeaten Ohio State is playing a bottom of the barrel Rutgers. Then the answer is no. Of course, Penn State has a chance to beat Ohio State. I do not think that it's going to happen.
All right, what would it look like if Penn State beat Ohio State?
Ohio State's defense would have to have the holes in it that we've seen in past seasons.
Right.
And Penn State would have to create multiple turnovers for that offense.
So
Your theory would have to be right about their defense not being tested.
yeah,
and being
well,
sleeping
I mean,
games.
listen. Ohio State's defense against the teams they played has looked better this year, but they have not played a team that's going to tell the truth about them yet. Penn State could be a truth-telling team.
They could, and then I think to add on to that, unfortunately for Penn State fans, not only would the defense have to be tested, Penn State's defense would then have to create turnovers on C.J. Stroud in that offense.
The only thing is when I talk myself into a world where Penn State is able to move the ball on Ohio State's defense, and Sean Clifford comes out and throws for 250 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns, and Nick Singleton, that's his name, right? Nick Singleton, he runs wild, and they're able to establish some offense. Even in that world, you still got to deal with the best offense in the country on the other side. You still got to deal with C.J. Stroud, who's the Heisman favorite. You still got to deal with the best receivers in the country, the best running backs in the country. You still got a situation where I think Ohio State can put up 50 against anybody, anywhere, anytime. So even at their best, I'm not sure Penn State can win this game, but we'll see.
Bless you.
I sneezed. I don't know if you heard it.
I know. I saw the wind-up.
Yeah.
You have a very long wind-up.
I
for
do.
your
I telegraph my
sneezes.
sneezes.
So I've learned a long time ago, many years ago, to just let you have the room whenever
Yeah.
you need to sneeze. There's no reason to talk. Yeah, I mean, if, like, let's say perfect scenario for Penn State. Ohio State's defense is not anywhere near what we think it is. They can run up and down the field. Sure, Ohio State will get a couple of stops, but it's very easy for Penn State to score. They still would have to, I think there has to be multiple turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, however, and maybe even something weird on special teams.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, Notre Dame did hold Ohio State's offense to 21 points. That was game 1, though. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I think turnovers won't be necessarily needed. I think the biggest key will be limit explosive plays from the Ohio State offense.
Yeah.
And also make it a short game. You have to establish the run with Nick Singleton, and then you can work the play-action pass with Sean Clifford.
Let me point out the problem with that. I think that's what they wanted to do at Michigan. If you saw their play calling early, they were going conservative, and then you looked up in the second quarter, Michigan had run 35 plays offensively, Penn State had run 6. They hadn't moved the chains at all. Their offensive line wasn't good enough to control the Michigan's defensive front. So if you go in there saying we're going to take the air out of the ball, make sure you take the air out of the ball while controlling the game, not take the air out of the ball and take your offense out of the game.
If you're taking the air out, if you're not going to take the air out of the ball,
then you
have to keep up with an offense.
You invite a
that
shootout. Yeah.
I'm not sure you're winning a shootout. So there is a downside, and of course there's a chance it doesn't work. However, I think Penn State can put together. As they just need to force some 3-and-outs. They need to force. If C.J. Stroud is completing 60 to 70% of his passes, make them 5 to 8 yard gains. Now they could just dink and dunk you all the way down the field. But you have a talented enough defense to put together at least a few stops, and then before you know it, we haven't seen this Ohio State team, and we have though at home against Notre Dame, but a really close game in the third or fourth quarter. And then you never know. You're at home. You have everyone on your side, and then maybe you get that turnover.
Did Michigan have that many explosive plays, though? I mean, I know they had a couple.
They did. They
had a couple, like, really long
But
plays.
they had explosive plays that weren't supposed to be explosive plays. Like, their offensive line was blowing them so far off the ball. Corum would hit the hole, and he'd be 12 yards down the field before he got hit. They had the 73-yard touchdown from Edwards.
Yeah, they had a couple of them, but
Yeah.
it wasn't as if
Michigan also wasn't trying to have explosive plays.
That's-
They were. It's a very measured offense.
that's where Ohio
State
will be
is.
right. That's
it's a
where
tough scenario to see where they win this game.
yeah,
Without a
they're
doubt.
like all the different scenarios that we could throw out there.
That being said,
but
Ohio State and Michigan are the most assumed good teams in the country. Like, we assume they're elite. We really do. We're putting them up on the pedestal, and we're probably right. But they just haven't had to do it yet. And this will be this is the first spot on the road where Ohio State's had to do it for sure. And even now, like Michigan, like we haven't had to see how good these teams are.
I think Ohio State is the most assumed for the best reasons. I mean, Georgia's up there too, but when Georgia played Missouri close,
Georgia has a 49-3 win over a top 10 team.
Yes, but I'm saying that that when we say assumed, we can only go off of, and I know it's cliche, only go off of what we've seen in front of us. And I just think, and it's exactly what we just talked about. When you say, do they look at how Penn State played Michigan and say we have to beat them more? That's because until they play on Thanksgiving weekend, that's the only thing we can do. We have to assume that they're both equally as good or that they're equally as talented, or however you want to put it, until we actually see what comes to fruition on the
I'd
field.
love to see Penn State win this game. Just chaos.
Some chaos.
Just to get let's get a little crazy.
All right, so let's say, hypothetically, we don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Then State beats Ohio State.
Oh, God.
Ohio State beats Michigan.
Oh, Jesus.
So you've got the three-way.
Yeah.
So then who goes into the...
Well, whatever. I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
What's the
All right,
tiebreaker in the Big Ten West?
it depends on.
This is really pointless to talk about,
No,
but
it's not.
you want to talk
No,
about
it's not.
No, it's
not,
There's
Brandon. Never
actually
pointless.
a wild scenario on the table. So
Where Rutgers
if
gets in.
No, that would be hilarious though. But if everyone's tied,
Is it points?
no, it's how
differential?
how you did against the other conference or the other division, and then if everybody in the division is tied. So if everybody in the Big Ten West is 5-4, 4-5, which is a possibility because they're so crunched up together, it's a random draw.
That'd be amazing.
Random draw?
Yeah, it would have to be. This is like a 1% chance.
Yeah.
I saw. Yeah, so
So the Big Ten East, if there was a three-way round robin
yes,
with Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State.
Is it how you do against the other side, or how you do it against the other side's champ, or how you do?
Right.
What do you mean the other side? Because they're all going to be 2-0
it's-
against the or 3-0 against the other side.
But
yes,
then-
but then so how
it
do you
point
differentiate? But then it depends because they all played different teams from the other side.
Right.
How those teams did. But if they're
Holy shit.
all the same record in the Big Ten, it's by
yeah.
their how they made it. It would be a random draw to
Can you
determine who
imagine-
goes to the
Actually,
Big
Michigan,
Ten.
Can you-
Michigan's going to be okay there because they play Illinois on the other side. Illinois might end up. I don't know.
That
But
would
can
be,
you-
but that would be the tiebreaker.
Can you imagine if we had a scenario where that does happen in the Big Ten East, which would be chaos, which would be awesome, and it comes down to a random draw? That would be so shitty.
I think we need more random draws in this sport.
I mean, it would be...
I think that happened in the ACC. There was a coin flip a few years ago.
That's such bullshit. I mean, it's
Yes.
funny, but...
Yeah, when it happens in the ACC Coastal, nobody notices.
But in the Big Ten East, it would just, I mean, you want to talk about an absolute meltdown from a specific fan base, and it would be even crazier if it was like, Michigan killed Penn State.
Yeah.
Ohio State barely loses to Penn State.
Yeah.
But somehow Penn State gets that random nod. Michigan fans would lose their minds.
Let's talk.
Another thing that Sean Clifford has to do well. Penn State really struggles on third down. They need to be successful on
They
third
got to
down.
have a perfect game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Before we get to any of that, Brandon.
Yes, please.
We just went through the 2 games where we will be on the road for the college football show.
Yeah.
What will we be wearing to both of those
Oh,
shows?
we're going to be looking good. We're going to be wearing our rowback.
We're
It's going to be a little cool. I've already looked it up, like 58 to 65 in both
Beautiful.
places. Going to be wearing our either
65's too
quarters,
hot.
our quarter zips. Well, I think it'd be closer to like 58.
That's what we
Our
want.
quarter zips, our hoodies. Rowback has the best in all of those.
And then we'll be, humble brag here. We'll be taking the plane in between.
Yep.
Maybe throw on some of the performance joggers
Yep.
to be nice and comfortable.
Throw them on in between. I'll probably wear them the whole day.
We're gonna be eating good
We
for
will.
football food.
We'll have the rowbacks. We'll have. We really do. And everywhere we've gone, like the last Saturday we were at LSU and it was 80 degrees. We were all in our rowback polos. We look good.
We all were in that beautiful purple.
We go into this. We're going to this cold weather environment. We're going to be in our hoodies and our quarter zips, all that stuff.
So you that are listening, you
Yes.
people, you roughnecks out there,
Please.
you want to be comfortable like us?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want to be? Go to rowback.com. That's RHOBACK.com.
They really are the best clothes.
They're so comfortable. Use code ROUGH, ROUGH, for 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com, 20% off. It's all polos, quarter zips, hoodies, joggers with the code ROUGH. Again, holidays are coming up.
Yep.
They're coming up quick. It's almost November. And I will say this, that they all different sizes. They've got women's stuff, men's stuff. Like, everybody will be happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
The colors they have.
So good.
You don't even have to get like, the Michigan colors. You could get they have the nice things to make your eyes pop.
Yes, please.
Gifts for everybody. Roback.com, 20% off your first purchase.
Code ROUGH. All right.
ahead.
Now let's move down to, I mentioned upset Saturday is what I think could be afoot here. Tennessee basically had a bye week after beating Alabama. Okay. They beat UT Martin 65-24, and who cares how about 24 or the 65? That didn't matter. They just had to play because of contractual reasons. But now they're taking center stage in college football for the first time since their biggest win in 2 decades. The question becomes not how good are they, it's how do they handle it? How do they handle being the hunted instead of the hunter? Because they went out and bagged the big game. They killed the big elephant. Now they're taking the field as the big game here. They're playing Kentucky at Neyland Stadium, 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Number 19 Kentucky against number 3 Tennessee. Now, Kentucky's weird. I have told you before, when they were in the top 10, they were the biggest fraud in the country, and they were. I don't think they're that good. But I never said they weren't good. They are good. They are a very solid football team. They're a very physical football team. They do what they do very, very well. This is one of the best defenses in the country. They give up less than 300 yards a game, and they know how to run the football. Their losses, they lost on the road to Ole Miss in a game they kind of dominated. Mm-hmm. They dominated that game and lost, and then they lost to South Carolina when Will Levis didn't play. Their losses really aren't that bad. Now they go to Tennessee, and this has been a heated rivalry over the last few years. Last year, I think it was 45-42, a shootout. Hendon Hooker outdueled Will Levis. I don't know if we'll see that again, but how will Tennessee handle being the big guy on the block?
So when you look at last year and you mentioned the shootout, and I understand Hendon Hooker played, but everything that you just said about their defense, the defense for Kentucky, is true. This is not the same Hendon Hooker and the same offense they played last year.
I don't know, but this is about right where they really fucking figured it out last year.
Definitely, but now he's
they
had
were
a
elite
whole...
That game was so good last year.
That game was awesome. But they figured it out last year, but now he's had... It's not even just like, oh, they figured it out in week 1 and now it's week 9, week 10. They figured it out in 2021, and now he's had a whole offseason and a whole season. I'm not taking anything away from Kentucky, but I do think that when you look at this Tennessee offense, and even on their bye week, quote bye week, it was what, UT Martin they played?
Yeah.
Still, firing at all cylinders, easy to do against a team like that, but they have not slowed down. Slowed?
Sloan
Sloan's
not a word. Sloan is the girlfriend in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Also,
Sloan
Sloan from Entourage, one of the hottest women on TV.
Way too hot for him.
So this
Way
is
too hot.
Well, that's ridiculously too hot for him.
This is good versus good and bad versus bad.
It's Tennessee's offense against Kentucky's defense, and it's Kentucky's offense isn't great against Tennessee's defense isn't great, especially against the pass.
Yes.
And listen, Kentucky fans can take their win against us and say Will Levis. He's an overrated prospect. He's not that good, but he is. He's a solid player.
He's not Bryce Young.
But
he's on Alabama, and they were able to beat Alabama.
For an offense, but you don't need to be Bryce Young to throw on Tennessee's.
Well, right, but that's the
defense.
thing is that Alabama,
Tennessee Martin's quarterback was throwing on Tennessee's defense.
Also, you mentioned against Ohio State, take the air out of the ball. This team is qualified to do it. Kentucky, if they want to slow down Tennessee's offense, how do you do it? 8 to 10 minute drives. Chris Rodriguez is fantastic. He missed the first 4 games.
Their rushing stats surprisingly aren't great this year.
What about when Chris Rodriguez came back? He ran for 210 yards against us, and we're good.
Yes, that is something to consider. And so 100% that's the game plan.
Yeah.
Now, but it's very I would be disappointed as a Kentucky fan, not as for the results, but for the offense. Like, this is a pretty talented offense, and the numbers being put up are not great.
No, they're not. They don't score a lot of points because the talent's being a little overrated. I mean, it just is. And the offensive line isn't all that good. But again, like you said, Tennessee is a team that has the best offense, maybe the second best offense in the country. It's them or Ohio State. I would put Ohio State a little bit ahead of them because they've done it more years. But they have the number one scoring offense in the country. They're averaging 50 points a game.
Number one total offense.
They're number one total offense, the number two passing offense. Like they're putting up numbies. But that defense is still a work in progress. Like
It could be worse,
but if you get in a game where your offense doesn't bring its A game, let's say you get in a game where your offense brings its C game. You're not Georgia. You're not Ohio State. You're not. I don't think you're going to win by sheer talent alone. Like if your offense doesn't perform the way they performed, Tennessee could be vulnerable with that defense.
the only thing is,
But
Tennessee's defense is actually pretty good against the rush.
It is.
So
Katie has it.
Oh, there we go.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? This is real. Okay. Tennessee has the number 8 rushing defense in the country. They're giving up 90 yards a game. They have the number 130 pass defense. Anybody know how many teams are in FBS?
132.
I thought it was 131. Is it 32?
Oh, I don't know.
It's 31.
131.
Yeah.
So they're next to last in America in pass defense. So is that number 8 rushing defense real, or are teams just saying we're going to throw it?
the success rate, another metric to look at, is actually pretty good. They rank 18th in defensive success rate, and then an EPA rush allowed per rush, they rank 7th. And in those passing, they rank 114th in EPA per
All right,
pass.
we're dicking around. Can Tennessee lose to Kentucky?
Yes. Will
I don't
they?
think
No.
so.
Will they? No.
I don't think
Can
so,
they?
but
yes.
in the same way that Michigan State, like I don't want to fully the rivalry, the hype, like the letdown spot. Like I would take Kentucky to cover before I take Tennessee. To
All right.
cover.
Well, let me point this out. Have you seen Tennessee's uniforms?
Oh, they're
yes.
so sick.
They're so
I don't
fucking
know.
cool.
I
They look
like
like
them.
candy corn.
I know, but it's Halloween.
Okay, yeah,
It's
cool.
Halloween.
Yes. And candy corn
I'm
stinks. by the way.
going to put on the record, Tennessee's not
Stop
losing.
talking. Stop
They're
talking.
so
Stop talking.
good.
Stop talking.
I like it.
Candy corn is disgusting.
You're
Oh, my
wrong.
bad. Yeah, go.
Noah agrees.
No, thumbs down your opinion.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
It tastes
That's
like
ridiculous.
It tastes like rubber.
That's ridiculous.
Candy corn tastes like rubber.
is delicious. It tastes like candy corn.
If candy corn
This
wasn't-
is such a basic take by you.
No, it
Everybody
is.
about 10 years ago, everybody said, "Oh, candy corn sucks."
No,
Now, nobody
right.
grew up thinking candy corn
Oh,
stinks.
I can tell you right now, if I was to call my parents on the phone, which I'm not going to because I don't know what they would say on the phone.
can.
No. I'm telling you right now, they would tell you I refused to eat it as a kid too. And then people even tried to sneak in the chocolate one, the candy corn that has the chocolate part because I love chocolate. I was like, no, this shit stinks. It's such a novelty candy that no one wants to eat it the rest of the year. If it's such a great candy, why aren't you eating it at Easter?
I've eaten
because it's candy
year-round.
corn. It's a
Does-
fall food. It's a
No,
fall
it's not.
food.
Some
It's got
candy-
fall colors.
No, the best Halloween candy is the candy that you would be happy to eat the entire year. Give me some Reese's Pieces.
No, there are some
Give me
candies
this.
that you
Little
eat.
baby Snickers.
There's those
No,
pecan logs that
no.
you get sometimes. I would never eat those, but at
If
Halloween I get them.
somebody- If I said I want some candy in May and someone handed me a bag of candy corn, I'd throw it back.
Let
in
me
their
tell you
face.
something.
What's your favorite pie?
My favorite pumpkin.
Are you gonna eat that in March?
Yes.
No, you're not.
No, you're
First of all,
not.
nobody's
Yes, I would.
nobody's favorite pie is pumpkin.
Yes,
You're
it
lying.
is. I swear to
Nobody's
God.
favorite pie is
It
pumpkin.
is.
Pies are for Thanksgiving in the cold. Like
No,
A
no.
pies can be any time of the
Pies
year.
any time
they
of the year.
can be. So can candy corn.
No, but
Oh,
peop-
she just got you there.
Well, no, but I would
Let
eat
me
a
tell you
pumpkin
something.
pie.
If
at any
Katie
time
left
of the
here, if
year.
I gave Katie my wallet, said go to the candy store and bring back some candy, and she popped down a bag of candy corn, me and you both are eating that shit.
I can promise you I'm not. I actually do hate candy corn. Now
I could
make
go
fun
for
of
some
me.
candy corn right
Make
now.
fun of me all you want about my pumpkin pie take.
I think candy corn.
I hate it.
It's easy
I
to
won't
candy
eat it.
corn wrong. There's some brands that are disgusting, but the good ones.
It's just a unique taste that you only taste like once
Like
or twice a
rubber.
year, but it's so good when you have
It
it.
tastes like a
it melts
condom.
in your mouth. What?
First of all,
You're
First of
using a
all,
condom
how do you know
wrong.
what
pause.
I don't. I wanted to see what Brandon did. I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever tasted a condom, but if I did, that's what candy corn would taste like.
No wonder you're pregnant. Okay.
No. First of all, it is weird that I
Stop
would.
saying first of all.
Second of all, third of all, if I was to be given a pumpkin pie in July, I would be happy. Now, would people give that to me in July? No, because it is a novelty food. Just like people don't eat turkey
The
a
best
lot of the
thing
year, other
in-
than on Thanksgiving.
If you have a Halloween
but I eat
bucket,
turkey.
if you have a Halloween bucket,
No, it's because it's colors. You like the
if
colors.
you have a
of
Halloween
it.
bucket, the best candy to go in there is the bite-sized Snickers. We all agree with that.
And Reese's.
M&M's.
Individual Reese's cups are elite Halloween candy. And you know that.
They're top 3. Yeah, I would say that.
And then the little individual bags of M&Ms. Elite.
You know what the worst things are?
Candy corn.
No. The little Smarties, those little sweet tarts, those those are awful.
You know what else I'm not a fan of? The lollipops that have the caramel apple taste, like the green, like those suck too.
Yeah. I think lollipops have fallen off. Used to,
I don't know,
we were talking about this the other day. Used to, you could have, you go to the bank, you get the little lollipop with the rope on it. Where are those? Where are those anymore?
What?
See?
You can't get those anymore?
I ain't seen one. When's the last time you seen
With
one?
the rope?
Yeah.
You know,
little
see,
circle
okay,
rope.
like I'm looking at this Halloween candy board.
Yep. Kit Kats are elite.
Swedish Fish or not, I'm
The
not a
problem
Swedish
is
Fish person.
they have the 2 big Reese's cups. What you're talking about are the little ones, the little miniatures, those things right there.
The individually wrapped ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Something about Revitalight. I just have to go to the bathroom after drinking.
it hydrates you, Jack. I'm telling you right now that 95% of those candies that we're looking at right now, any time of the year, everyone is eating them. You put out candy corn at any time of the year, it's not getting eaten. Candy corn's down so bad right now, they're trying to make like Christmas flavors and tailgate flavors.
I got to tell you something right now.
It's gross.
Don't overreact to what I'm about to say, but I fucking hate you. I hate everything about you.
That graphic
I've never
that she's
hated a
looking
person.
at is so correct.
I've never hated a person.
You want to talk about
She's looking at
overrated-
worst Halloween candy.
Exactly.
Okay, well, first of all, who's giving out licorice for Halloween candy? Nobody. Circus Peanuts, I agree, is
black
the worst.
licorice.
No,
It's
they
not
do-
Twizzlers.
they-
It's black licorice.
No, and licorice, they do have those individual wrapped
Twizzlers
licorice.
are great.
Also, number 8 on worst Halloween is Tootsie Rolls. I'm sorry, what's wrong with the Tootsie Roll?
You know what I had recently that I had forgotten about how good are?
A Tootsie
the,
Pop?
The Tootsie Pop, the chocolate Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, so good.
I had one of those the other day. I
They're
forgot
so
they existed.
good.
So good.
Who's
Those
ever
wax
eat-
cola bottles,
That-
shit.
Circus peanuts. Who eats that?
The wafers, shit.
Nick Terani's favorite candy is Circus Peanuts.
Well, he's a weirdo.
That's what he
Are
said.
you sure that's not a bit?
It could be a bit, but he is committed to it.
Candy corn is so gross. But back to Tennessee's uniforms.
This is why I think it could be upset Saturday. It's Halloween night. Weird shit's going to happen, okay? I just don't know. I got a feeling Tennessee, if you remember when Tennessee played Florida, like they were better in Florida, and they beat Florida by 5. Kentucky's better in Florida.
When is daylight savings time? Is it this weekend?
No, it's usually the first or second weekend
No.
of November.
Now listen, I've been out of college for a minute. There was a weekend that it was Halloween,
Yeah.
daylight savings
Yeah.
time. I think Texas Tech, who also has sick uniforms for Halloween, came to Kyle Field and A&M beat them. It was, I think, if I look back on college, probably top night because you got the extra hour at the bar. That plays into it for college students too. If it's not this weekend, then
All right, now I'm going to
ignore
roll.
everything I just said.
I'm going to lay out these ranked teams again.
Hold on.
What, woman?
What are we? Oh, this
Oh.
on Halloween.
Oh no, I thought we were going to next
Oh
game.
no,
I'm
I
jumping
have
gun.
something to admit.
What?
I have something to admit.
Admit it.
And then we're going to move past this game. I love the uniforms. That's playing into my brain, right? I love this Tennessee team. I love this offense. I am wearing the Tennessee orange version of rose-colored glasses for this team so hard right now. I don't know if it's because it's exciting. I don't know if it's because I like the parody of them being in it. I don't know if it's because this offense is so much fun to watch. But I love this Tennessee team. So to answer your question, no, I don't think Kentucky can do it because I think Tennessee is that good. But if I have to take those orange-colored glasses off, it won't hurt me.
Kentucky's a solid-ass team. That's
They
all
are
I'll say.
so
And their record,
fun
they
to
should
watch.
not
I
be.
hate being
Kentucky
that
should not be
cliche.
5-2 right now. Like they dominated Ole Miss, and then they lost, and then they lost a game where their quarterback was out to South Carolina, and I don't know. This is Tennessee's toughest game of the year outside of the Alabama game.
But even when they played Florida, it was like they hadn't beaten
And
Florida
Georgia,
in
of
a
course.
million years. And
Yeah,
they
but
finally
Kentucky's
did it.
better. Kentucky's better in Florida.
But it is, and I hate whenever we do, and we do it for every sport, every team. It's like, oh, this team is so fun to watch. It's a cliche, it's a crutch. This Tennessee team is actually the definition of a fun team to watch unless you are playing against them.
Everybody's fun to watch till they get hit in the fucking mouth.
And I don't think Kentucky's going to hit them in the mouth.
All right. I'm going to lay out these games again, and I want y'all to pick out the upset y'all think will happen, okay? Number 7, TCU at West Virginia. Notre Dame at number 16, Syracuse. Let's see. Cal at number 8, Oregon at Cal. Number 10, Wake Forest at Louisville. Number 17, Illinois at Nebraska. Number 20, Cincy at the Bounce House, UCF. Number 10, USC at Arizona. Ole Miss, number 15, at A&M. Pitt at number 21, North Carolina, and Stanford at number 12, UCLA. What screams upset to you guys?
Notre Dame at Syracuse.
Too many people are saying that, but I do think Notre Dame's going to win the game.
I think Notre Dame
And like
for good
Clemson fans
reason-
out there are praying that well, I guess it doesn't matter because they play Notre Dame later, so it would help them.
next week, no?
But they're praying that Syracuse holds up and looks pretty good.
I think that this Syracuse team was, and I was part of this, doubted. They were doubted so much against Clemson. I was all about Clemson not only winning but covering that spread, and Syracuse kept it close. I think they're almost riding a little bit too high with it. I think it's like, well, if DJ would have kept playing, we would have been able to beat him. I mean, I had that conversation today in this office. Meanwhile, Notre Dame, for a lot of good reasons, has been made fun of this year, has been down. That to me screams like, all right, Syracuse, like, yeah, you only lost by a single digit to Clemson, but Notre Dame is still Notre Dame.
By the way, Jack has pulled up on his computer for every one of these games the nerdiest looking stats of all time. What do your nerd stats tell you on this one?
It's funny. Katie brings up hers. Their
Yeah, I was gonna
stats,
say.
but mine, like
Never
I
mentioned
pull
mine.
up like a graph.
Yours are so nerdy looking though. Hers are just hers are written out, and plus she didn't even have this game pulled up. So I'm looking at yours.
Also,
All right.
Katie's nickname
I
is Katie
no, I
Stats.
think Notre Dame's still Notre Dame in terms of like the landscape of college football.
Yeah.
But this year they're not very good. And I
They
think
lost to
Syracuse is gonna run all over them.
Really?
And Sean
That's fine,
Tucker's
but-
gonna have a great game.
They won on the road at North Carolina. Like that, they put it together in pieces.
Yeah, they won on the road at North Carolina, but then lost to Marshall at home and
Well,
Stanford.
they had already
at
lost
home.
to Marshall at home.
And then they lost to Stanford at home
Stanford's
last week
bad.
or 2
Yeah,
weeks
it was
ago.
gross.
Stanford's
It was
bad.
gross. I don't think
Stanford. I mean, I think Arizona State ended up beating them the other day, but like
Yep.
Stanford's not very
No,
good.
No, Stanford won.
They won by 1
15-14.
point.
when I say Notre Dame is still Notre Dame, I mean they still have the talent on their football team to put together a game where they could beat Syracuse. I'm not trying to take anything away from Syracuse, and I realize it probably sounds like that I'm hating on them. It just feels like to me it's like because they didn't get their doors blown off against Clemson, that they are still like, no, like we are that good. We're just a notch below Clemson, and that to me is a type
just
of
don't
game.
think
But
that
they
you're
are
trying.
that good. They are that
I
good, though.
just don't think Garrett Schrader's that good. Like he can't throw it, and
I don't think he's going to need to in this game.
again, Notre Dame's defense is pretty solid, man. And,
Not against the rush.
I mean,
You think
we
Sean
talked
Tucker?
about
Just
how-
Sean Tucker.
It's Sean Tucker game. And Garrett Schrader can run the ball, too, as you know.
He can.
And I think they'll be able to control the game. But Notre Dame, like, am I saying this is like oh, my God, Syracuse is going to run through them? Not really. I get why people like Notre Dame here, but I think at the end of the day, Syracuse is a good football team. They've shown they're a
Yeah,
good
they
football
are.
team.
I just don't know that they are, Jack. I think they're 6-1, and all you can do is play your schedule and win games. And so it doesn't matter what I think.
Yeah.
Listen, they ran up against an NC State team that changed immediately. Devin Leary went out. They beat Virginia 22-20. They beat Purdue in the last second, and they had to have some breaks to do that. Like, I just think this team is their record is better than their actual skill level, their actual talent level. And I think Notre Dame, their record's a little worse than their skill level and talent level. And when you get those two equations together, and Notre Dame is one of those teams that usually you travel on the road. Like Notre Dame's going to have some fans at Syracuse. They're going to have
100%.
They're going to have a lot of fans at Syracuse. I just think this is a classic.
But what does Notre Dame do well?
Well, but we talked about this a little bit earlier when we talked about Ohio State, and I realize it was week 1, and I realize things progressed throughout the season. We're still talking about a team that did keep
Katie.
Ohio State's offense at bay for a lot of that game.
Who's?
Ohio State.
Yeah, they held them 21 points.
You know, so I mean,
True,
I know
true,
it was
true,
a
true.
long time ago, and it feels like years ago at this point. But this Notre Dame team, despite having the letdowns they have, and yes, I've made fun of Notre Dame for sure. But you look at what Ohio State's offense looks like in comparison to Garrett Schrader and Syracuse. I mean, you can't compare those two.
I want to have one topic at the very end. Let's tweet this out right now. I don't have my phone's about to die, so I'm not going to
I
tweet
thought
it
you
on
didn't
my
have the
phone.
password.
This is why I'm telling Jack to tweet it out.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Tweet out
Tweet out.
this week. No, not tweet
I
out.
was kidding. It was a joke.
Roughnecks,
Rough. Next.
give us your best upset pick for this weekend and why. And I want to see what they think.
Give us what?
Give us your best upset pick for this weekend and why.
What gift should I use?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
What? I said Saquon.
Because they could technically be on upset.
Okay, that's weird. This confirms your boyfriend had an orgasm inside you. Congrats.
Well,
That's a tweet that I just got.
this is a funny
yay.
one. How to
Congrats
never
on
have
the
a
sex.
girlfriend.
Yeah, we're using a different one.
Is it
We're using a different one. What do you want me to say?
is it a different school?
It's a
Yes.
different GIF.
It's a different school.
Yes, I don't know what
Give
school
us
it is.
your best upset pick for this weekend and why. No. Oh, wait. It is on the Reddit account.
Stop showing her.
My bad.
Is it a different school?
It's a different GIF.
So it's the
there's a different GIF. Roughnecks.
How to never have a girlfriend.
Give us your best upset pick for the weekend and why. And the GIF is what?
What you people?
What? Here,
you
I
people?
better retweet that.
Yeah, thanks.
I better retweet that real quick. I don't know how that.
How
Because
the
he
heck?
did. He searched girlfriend tweets. He didn't even search Texas A&M. That was weird. Whatever. I don't mind.
You know something? Noah never had any idea what that brand of human being was before he walked into this door, this podcast studio. You never heard of EL leaders from Texas A&M? No, not a shot in hell.
You know how many people are like Noah this year? A lot, because they made such a
There's
fool
so
of
many
themselves.
people have texted me. They're like, "What is this? Is this real?" It's like,
Let's-
yeah, it's been around forever.
Pull the slate up.
Can we
It-
talk about Oklahoma State, Kansas State?
Yes, we can.
Is Adrian Martinez playing?
I have to clutch my pick for the pick 'em parlay. And
Is
I'm
Adrian
looking at-
Martinez playing?
I don't know.
Colin
Give her a
Klein
decision.
said it's a game time decision,
Colin
and
Klein.
so he may be playing. Colin Klein's going to be the quarterback.
Why?
He's coming
the
back a
hell
decade later.
Is the line so small? It makes zero sense to me.
It
Why?
should be. These are evenly matched teams.
I think Oklahoma State's better.
Why? Kansas State was going to beat the shit out of TCU if their quarterback didn't get hurt. They both went into TCU and both had big leads. They both blew it, but Kansas State at least lost their quarterback to blow the lead. Kansas State's good.
You don't think it's a rat line?
No, I think this is. If you told me this was a pick 'em, I'd be fine. Oklahoma State's not special. Kansas State's not special. They're probably two. I think they're probably the two best teams in the Big 12. I think they're both probably better than TCU, and they both happen to lose to TCU.
You know TCU people are screaming.
That's
at
fine. I don't.
Spencer Sanders has some crazy numbers.
That's
this year.
fine. And
no, I know. I'm just
he's
saying.
had a
like,
good
when you
year.
look at him.
Listen, but I think this game, man. I think if Adrian Martinez is playing, we haven't seen.
So the line, I think, thinks he's playing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I would assume if
I kind of want the home team here. Like,
if
give me
he's,
Kansas
if he's
State.
not playing, I don't think that Kansas State would be favored. I think it would be a pick 'em.
That's fine.
I'm
But
so-
No, I'm not. I'm saying like that. The fact that Kansas State is favored, I know it's at home, but that tells me that Adrian Martinez is playing.
why do you think Oklahoma State's a better team than Kansas State?
I just think I'm now trying to like make sure and go back over the TCU game. Yes, if AJ Martinez not got injured, I think Deuce Vaughn was injured for some plays. TCU would have lost. I think just Oklahoma, they've had bigger games. I think the win over Texas was a bigger win.
Well,
Like,
here's
they've had bigger
here's
stages.
your problem if you're going to ride Oklahoma State. Okay, that defense is fucking atrocious.
Correct.
I mean, it
Pass
is
defense,
garbage.
I think, just.
No. That defense, 100% all the way across the board. That defense is god awful. They're giving up 450 yards a game. This is last year. They were good because their defense was good. They are terrible, and they can't stop anybody. Now you got Adrian Martinez and Deuce Vaughn. You got
Kansas
weapons
State's
on Kansas State.
defense isn't that much.
Kansas
better.
State's defense is a lot better than
Pass
than-
defense. No, they're like 118.
Who?
Kansas State
No, Kansas State has a good pass defense.
passing offense. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Their
That's-
passing offense is very
Yeah,
good.
Yes,
but they
sorry,
want to
yes.
run the football. They with Adrian
They're
Martinez.
great
with-
running. Yeah, they're good at running.
I just think that's the Kansas State spot all day long.
But no, McCarthy texted me that I need to change my pick for the pick and parlay, so I'm like internally panicking right now.
Remember that the pick 'em parlay, like Katie being
Runs
in
her
it,
life now,
It
yeah.
runs her life.
I hate it. I don't like it. Like I want.
The Tulane situation last week was
What very quickly without me having to watch that shitty show pick 'em. What happened?
Well, Tulane almost didn't cover,
No,
and I
no,
almost
what
lost the
happened
parlay.
No, that's not it. What was the Dukes thing?
Basically, he confused Tulane and Toledo, not because like they look the T, because they both end in a vowel and have 7 letters in the name, and so he.
Okay, that's not why. It was because they both start with a T. Did he explain that it was because they have both? Okay, well he's stupid and he probably shouldn't be in charge of anything.
Well, yeah, he fucked up.
Basically,
Yeah.
for about 45 minutes, enough time to have about 300 people put the parlay in. had Toledo in it. Toledo lost, Tulane won, so the right parlay won. But then Dan and Dave didn't know any of this. So then they were celebrating a win, and then their mentions were like, wait a second, I have Toledo. What the fuck is happening? Realized it, and then Dukes tweeted out, like, if you had Toledo, DM me. And he's like, I'm going to pay people off. Like, pay the right. Like, I think we marked everyone who had Toledo as a winner and got their money, but.
That's what I just got the same.
Which me and Casey got the, speaking of Roback that we've already done the ad for, we always get a text every week about our Roback options for Saturday. That hoodie is sick. I'm wearing that one.
Did you get a?
Oh, I like them all.
Is this a polo, you think?
Yeah, that's a polo, I believe.
It's gonna be too cold for a polo. I got it. Look at this nice one.
I like
this all white
I like
Roback
all
for
those.
Penn
That would
State.
scare me to do white.
Yeah, it definitely will.
The first two
because
especially.
spray tan season.
I'm gonna wear those.
I can't make a pick.
All right, let's go to the slate. We got to go.
Yeah, okay, all right.
No,
fine.
wait,
All right,
I'm not trying.
fine.
People get mad when I rush the show, but
Fine.
Don't holler.
Why you hollering?
There we go.
You holler sometimes.
I don't holler. I've never
You
hollered
holler
at
all the time.
Oh.
Go to the slate.
you. You been talking to my wife?
I'm talking to your mom.
Gross. All right, let's go.
I'm scrolling.
I mean, that wasn't like a your mom joke. That was
I know that you talked to my mom.
she
That was the last time you talked to her.
Fuck it.
last weekend.
Oh, you haven't texted her since then? Wow. What a shitty friend you are. What did she say fuck it for?
She's upset about the pick'em parlay.
Don't worry about it.
I don't want to lose Dan, Dave, and everyone money.
Let me tell you something. They don't actually care if you win, okay, Katie? And it's a show. They're all fucking idiots, Dan and Dave included. So
They
you're not
lose
going to
money
fuck
all
anything
day.
up. Yes.
They lose money
All
quite literally
the time.
all day. There's not going to be a time where they're looking at the board and they're going to be like, you know what? I would have won today if Katie would have made the right
Correct.
pick.
There was a comment when I
Katie?
lost it 2 weeks ago.
Katie, you're good. Trust me.
They lose so much,
You
just like the rest of us.
You cannot make a gambling pick and say, oh, my God, I hope it doesn't lose. Just fucking go with it. You like Oklahoma State? Fucking go with it. I'm an idiot, too.
We're all dumb.
But
We're all
Kansas
dumb
State is going to
idiots.
win that game. All right. The slate. We've got we're starting with Big Noon Saturday. We've got Ohio State, Penn State, which we've talked about at length. That's when you also have TCU, number 7 in the country, at West Virginia. I am putting myself in a position where TCU can just make me look stupid the rest of the year. Like, this is the team that I've kind of drawn a line in the sand and said, I don't believe you. What?
No. Max Duggan's going to throw for 450 yards this weekend, and they're going to win again.
Brandon, let me.
And then it'll be another reason why there'll be another.
What if they hurt JT Daniels?
I don't want them to hurt anybody.
Well, they've gotten good at it.
I know that they've had some circumstances go their way, but what you're going to have to do eventually is what I did last week. I had to do it. I just said, you know what? I've talked shit about them every week. I've tried to find a reason to downplay them. I've been wrong thus far. I was the only person on the college football show that took them last week. It ended up being right. I'm buying Jack's purple-colored glasses he's got on. You just got to do it.
No, Jack
gotta
is
do it.
Jack's in a unique spot. Jack got on him early. He's the early adopter. He got there first, and he's going to defend it till it goes down. But he knows they're not that good.
He's
he fucking
drinking
knows
purple
it. He knows
Revitalite
it
right now.
He knows it, and I know he knows it. I know
No,
you
he
know it.
doesn't.
Yes, I do.
No, he doesn't.
You can't lie to me. I know that you know it.
He
The
doesn't.
stats back up them being a good team.
Their defense, that backs up them being a good team, having to fight from 28-10 every week.
Their pass defense is their biggest issue. Without a
JT
doubt.
Daniels is not a bad quarterback.
He's not bad. No, I think
West Virginia's desperate.
Their top rushers out also.
Who?
Tony.
For TCU or West Virginia?
West Virginia.
All right. I'm not worried about the rusher against that shitty. Go back to the slate. You keep leaving the slate. I don't need you.
I'm trying to find you people.
Don't be leaving the slate. You also have Notre Dame, Syracuse in that early window. Arkansas, Auburn. Arkansas is a 3.5-point favorite over Auburn. This is it's a trap as far as Vegas goes. I mean, they're begging me to take Arkansas, and I'm going to do it because I think Arkansas is going to beat the piss out of Auburn.
I know we ask this every week.
a win here could really help Harsin.
That was my question.
Do you think Harsin can save his job?
Not really, but
He has to beat Alabama at this point.
And
an Alabama win. Yeah, he does have that ultimate.
But he can't.
I
He's not going to win
Almost
at
did it last
Tuscaloosa.
year.
He's not going to win at Tuscaloosa.
That is
no,
true.
listen,
Shot,
so
but-
it is. We've done it every single week.
There's like
we
a
did
5% chance.
in the offseason. If they lose to Arkansas, does he get fired?
I would have thought he would have been fired already.
Me
but,
too.
But if he loses to Arkansas, probably not. If he gets beat 48-3, yeah, he might get fired. I mean, it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. But the longer it goes, like Auburn is traditionally one of the most flighty schools when it comes to firing a coach. Yet we've seen other teams like Wisconsin, who's usually the measure of discipline. They fired their coach already this year. What's Auburn waiting on?
I don't know. Unless Auburn and the boosters that tried to get Harsin out in the offseason and all the stuff that's gone on at Auburn before, which is not, I mean, it happens a lot of places. Unless the boosters and the athletic department knows exactly who they're going to hire and has already had that conversation.
It's Lane Kiffin.
So maybe there's a gentleman's deal.
They've already talked to him.
So they're like, all right, listen, we're not going to fire Harsin. We're going to let it play out until the end of the season so we don't have to deal with interim coach bullshit. You don't have to get up in front of the podium and turn down any rumors, deny any rumors that you're taking the Auburn job. We'll just stay status quo until the end of the season. That's the only thing I could see of why you would wait.
Has anyone asked him on a press conference about
No,
other
I haven't.
openings? I haven't seen anything.
I'm sure they have.
This was
that's-
such a great
well-
piece of social media work by me last night. I just tweeted, Kentucky has beaten Tennessee in football 3 times since 1984. Wow. 1,800 likes. Tennessee fans just love that shit.
Tennessee loves it, and Kentucky loves to hate on it. Yeah.
Tennessee's had, I think,
Also, shout out Katie for all these, all her Halloween costumes. They all did really well
Jimbo
on
was
social.
insane. Tennessee, I think, has had
Or
10
clown
games
nose in
scoring
there.
30 or more. Kentucky has had 11 games holding opponents to 24 more or less points. Something's going to give.
To your question about Lane, has he been asked about leaving yet? No, because he has the biggest dick suckers in media
right.
in Oxford, the most cultish, clannish media in the country. They will do whatever that university tells them at all times. So he will never get asked
Which
that
one's
question.
more, Ole Miss or
Ole Miss.
Alabama?
Ole Miss by far. Ole Miss laid down and
Alabama?
let Hugh Freeze cheat and acted like the media acted like they couldn't see it.
fair.
And they have got the most Dan Wolken's a bad person. I don't like him. The best thing he ever said was Ole Miss has cultish, clannish media that protects that.
I was about to say, I don't feel like you should be able to say Klan.
Well, I certainly will.
He just did.
And we'll do it again. Oklahoma's at Iowa State.
That's an interesting game.
As Oklahoma continues to get off the mat, we'll see how high they get. Like
They're -1.5.
on the road at Iowa State. Iowa State's not bad. That is a very interesting game because that's kind of a future of the program game for both of those teams. Like if you're Iowa State and you keep losing, if you're Oklahoma and you lose again, like where are we going? Now I need to ask this one on my right. How you guys going to beat Boston College?
Okay, so this is a big one.
Is this
Boston
your game of the
College at
week,
UConn.
Jack?
No,
7.5.
I definitely am betting UConn. This is a very big game because Boston College has blocked the advancement of University of Connecticut athletics for a very long time. And this is a one where if they lose, they always say like, oh, like they made fun of us when we went to Independent. They beat them this time. It's homecoming. Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I think they can do it. Boston College has turned it around a little
Has
bit.
that
though.
line crashed a little bit?
Yeah, no, people like
Boston
UConn.
College has not turned it around, have they?
Well, they beat Louisville. That was without Malik Cunningham.
Yeah, that was 2-3 weeks ago though.
And they looked decent against Clemson.
What was that game? 31-3.
Yeah, I know, but like their defense.
Okay, you're talking them up because you're playing them. Fine, whatever.
All I'm saying is this would be a big win regardless.
And then noon slate: Georgia Tech's at Florida State. South Florida's at Houston. We move on. We got Miami at Virginia. Why does Miami always play off?
There's also
Off?
Yeah, I know what you're
there's a
saying.
shot
off the
that
hour?
Tyler Van Dyke doesn't play.
That's fine. I don't care about
you know
Miami or
what?
Virginia
You know how
enough to.
little people give a fuck about that game? It's on
Rutgers is at
ESPN3.
Minnesota in a game that exists.
That's insane. Yeah.
Here's a game: Florida at Georgia. We've gotten an hour into the show. Florida's playing Georgia in Jacksonville. We haven't talked about it yet.
What
It's
if Florida
sad.
wins?
It's a sad state of affairs for the largest outdoor cocktail party because I'm sure you've been to that game before.
I've never
you
been to
haven't.
that game. Yeah.
Really, I've been multiple times, both with ESPN and now with Barstool, and you want to talk about fans that truly hate each other.
Yeah.
Fans that love to party. There are people throwing up all over the
They
place.
hate each other.
They hate each other. And it is always like, and I know that if you're outside the SEC, you can say like, oh, who actually cares? This game is a college football game people care about. And the fact that nobody is talking about this game as a potential spot that Georgia could lose is sad.
They're not
I'll
gonna.
No.
But I'll say this:
And they're not going to.
Georgia is one of the biggest Jekyll and Hyde teams in the country. You either get the team that's going to beat you 59-0, or you get a team that's going to barely beat you. Like this, they have, what are they, 7-0, 6-0, however many it is. They've got 5 games where they've dominated, and then they have a comeback win over Missouri and a lackluster game against Kent State. Like they have that in them. They have mediocrity in them.
They do, but Florida is not a game that they go into
half-assed.
thinking that there's even a potential for them to be mediocre.
Yeah.
Missouri, nobody thought that game was going to look that way, and neither did Georgia. That was like a look-ahead spot that wasn't a look-ahead spot. Georgia, no matter how, Florida could be over for like 3 seasons, and Georgia would still look at that game and be like, we have to go in and beat the shit out
Kirby
of them.
really likes beating Florida
Loves
too.
it, yeah.
I think
Yes.
I think that goes back to when he was in college. Georgia Florida was a much bigger rivalry. It still is massive. We all know this, but I think Georgia. This is a game that if Georgia doesn't put up at least 34, 38 points on offense, I'm a little concerned about their offense.
And this is also a game, too, like you mentioned, Jack, that regardless of who's the better team, both coaches want to win, and that means they're never going to take their foot off the pedal.
Let me if Florida were to lose this 38-0, 48-14, blowout.
Yeah.
Do they start questioning Billy Napier at all, or does he get a free year?
The Sox.
I hate the
Sorry.
Sox. God, I hate
Does
I
he-
thought you said he sucks. I was like, I
Does he
don't
get
know.
a free year? You know why?
You said
I'm
this-
going to answer my own question.
Was it you answered this last
I'm going to answer my own
night?
question. Florida fans don't even really care how many games he wins this year. They only care what he does on the third Wednesday in December. If he signs a top 10 class, that fixes their problem in their eyes. They fired Dan Mullen not because he was losing football games, but because he couldn't recruit and he wasn't winning recruiting battles against Kirby Smart. If Billy Napier delivers them top 10 class this year, he's good as gold for the next 3 years. If he doesn't,
He's not been
Can I-
recruiting well,
I
though.
was like,
they're in pretty good shape right now, aren't they?
can I also?
I mean, they have 20 commits and they're ranked 18th.
Can I just like give Florida fans a little glimpse into that thought process?
Uh-oh.
That doesn't fix shit sometimes.
Sometimes
He's
it
putting
does,
together
though.
a nice little class.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Who's that?
North Carolina.
Are they number
Oh, yeah.
11 in the country right now?
And they
I'm so out
they
on
only have
recruiting
17
right now.
commits, so if they get a few more,
North Carolina's ahead of LSU in recruiting?
yeah.
Wow.
They have 2 5-stars committed. I
Uh,
think they're the offensive linemen, right?
Let's go through the
I
Weren't they
think
like
Like
brothers
to
or
remind
something?
everybody that recruiting sometimes doesn't mean shit.
You'd rather have
yes.
a talented team than that.
Number 10, Wake Forest
Like
is
to
at
remind
Louisville
everyone just having a talented team doesn't mean shit.
at 3:30. Illinois is at Nebraska at 3:30. That game gives me the willies too. That's a weird
Which one?
game. Illinois at
Nebraska.
Nebraska. I don't know.
Nebraska's just so bad.
Yeah.
But
I think if I could be at one atmosphere in the country this weekend, I'd go to Cincinnati UCF. UCF is 5-2, Cincinnati 6-1.
That it would be fun. You know what? I understand that we just said Nebraska's so bad. I think Illinois, Nebraska would be a fun atmosphere to be at. Nebraska fans, no matter how bad their team is, they always show out. They always show up.
Oh, they always sell it out because one guy buys 5,000 tickets.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But Illinois, they're rolling. That would be a fun game to be at. Imagine being at Northwestern Iowa.
Illinois -7.5.
Northwestern Iowa. That's going to happen. Somebody's going to have to watch that.
you know who's on the call
38.
definitely.
Beth Mowens.
Has to be.
I like Beth. I'd like that on the record.
At what point does the Kinnick wave become? Right now it's a nice thing for the fans in the stadium to do to the kids. At what point does it come? It's charity for the kids to wave back at those poor people in the stadium.
Oh, Brandon.
Where the kids are like, sorry you have to be down there.
Oh,
it
that's
sucks to
dark.
be you.
Like they go into every single hospital room and they're like, "You guys need to pep up those fans." down
Right. Y'all gotta. The fans are looking to you guys for inspiration.
Yeah.
And they already are.
One of those kids up there is actually not that bad of a
Right.
doesn't have that bad of a right arm. He may be a good quarterback.
I'm probably better than anybody on Iowa side.
I really like UCF, by the way.
UCF at home against Cincinnati. Quickly, we got to go through this so I can get to the tweet. In the afternoon, you've got those 3:30 games I mentioned. If you see one you want to talk about, fine. You also have Missouri at South Carolina, who's number 25. That's crazy. 7 p.m. The night gets underway with Kentucky at Tennessee, USC at Arizona,
USC is going to beat the ever living shit.
Michigan
out of
State
Arizona.
at Michigan,
USC
7:30.
Arizona over.
That's your play.
Ole Miss A&M at
Jack Mack play
7:30.
today?
Arizona State, Colorado, Baylor, Texas Tech, Pitt, North Carolina. Scroll down. And that's your Stanford UCLA. That's your Saturday, and it ends at 11:59 with Wyoming, Hawaii.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time
I
on
love
this
that game.
because I know a lot of the last episode was about this, and I know people don't want to hear me talk about
tweet,
A&M.
Katie.
But the Ole Miss A&M game, I know you feel some type of way. A lot of people feel some type of way about A&M. What Jimbo Fisher said earlier this week about recruiting was so clownish because, and I had so many people in my mentions being like, well, that's what happens. If you're not a winning team, you give that recruiting pitch. People are failing to remember that this is not a recruiting pitch that's supposed to come from somebody that had the number 1 overall recruiting class, that had a top 10 class.
Now, I did see, and I don't know who tweeted it, and I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was a parent of a player or what, but there was somebody that said and I like the guy, but I'm going to say there was somebody that said, yeah, there were 3 players after the game that vaped in the locker room, but they were going to be suspended. It was going to be taken care of, and it really only blew up because Billy Lucci ran to Twitter and reported it.
Okay,
So, who was that?
Okay.
Is that a fake?
That's one of my favorite Twitter personalities in the entire world.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's Karen from Key Largo.
Okay, so it's not a real person?
No, it's not a joke. She's a real person.
Okay.
And she's a Jimbo Fisher fan. She was a Florida State
Oh,
fan.
I see.
And then
Okay.
came over to Texas
So
A&M.
she's she's like Jameis 101 for Jimbo Fisher.
But that being said, she is a massive Texas A&M fan now. She's an older woman. She's like a grandma. She rides and dies with Jimbo like you wouldn't believe. And on top of it, there were players that quote tweeted it and said, this is true. That's Karen from Key Largo. Some people know of her on Twitter. She is one of, she's hard to describe, but she was the biggest
Look
Florida
at her
State.
bio.
Yeah, I need to read her bio. Love God, family, Aggies, and Norman. That's her dog. I'm not Jimbo's bag lady. Wish I was, though.
Yes, so she's Karen Key Largo. Some people who are listening right now know who she is because she's literally, look, I follow her.
She's a Twitter legend?
She's a Twitter legend. She only has 3,000 followers, but I've always wanted to connect with somebody out there about how much I love Karen from Key Largo.
Well, here's your opportunity, Jack. And by the way, this is like such a weird inception moment. I'm reading this, like a lot of these people she's quote tweeting are like former coworkers of mine that just work in College Station. Billy has fought back on a lot of that stuff. It's just, regardless of what exactly is true and what's not true, the fact that you have Jimbo Fisher, you have Karen Key Largo like having to defend him because of what's actually happening in the locker room. You've got Jimbo sitting up using a recruiting pitch that is used by shitty teams with bad recruiting rankings. Just tells you everything you need to know about where this A&M program is.
Man, I love Karen from Key Largo.
You're about to win your next 4 games.
Whatever.
I said on Twitter, Roughnecks, give us your best upset pick for this weekend and why. And Jack actually used a GIF of A&M Yale leaders. I don't know why he used that GIF. That's weird.
Yeah, that was fucked up by me.
How to never
What,
have a
you think you're being
girlfriend.
funny?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The first reply is Casey Smith saying stop. All right.
I know her.
Paige Browning is first up. She says TCU over West Virginia is not an upset to anyone except Brandon fucking Walker. We are not frauds. Go Frogs. Is she handling this well?
No, she's not.
She's not handling this well. I know she's in your messages. Is
Dawson's not either.
Is she doing okay?
Yeah, they're good. The
she's
TCU.
seen it.
I'll tell you what.
She's
I'm a
handling that
TCU
well.
defender.
You're talking like a drunk at the bar right now. Let me tell you. I'll tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you something.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
TCU. You saying that they're frauds is not that outlandish of a take. Like, I actually think it's you can back it up.
Also, Horn Frauds works.
Yeah. So
She's handling it well, I think, from a fan standpoint. I don't know. It's not like we talk very often.
TCU fans
but
are
she's
just
not handling your hate for them well.
Hold on. Everybody relax. We have to read another one. I'm going to read the second one. Skip Swin says, West Virginia over TCU. Mountaineers are different at home. TCU is right for an upset. Also, Texas A&M over Ole Miss because Brandon believes it'll happen, and he's the smartest college football mind at Barstool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is unnecessary roughness.
Oh, shut up. You've been wrong all season too, just
whoa,
like everybody else.
What happened?
Here.
Oh, Katie threw something?
I tossed it, not throw.
Will.
You've
Because she
been
said it
wrong
was
plenty
Cap.
of times.
Will, I am Rebel Pot says A&M over Ole Miss, backs against the wall, Ole Miss exposed, night game at Kyle. It will inspire hope and has Jimbo righted the ship articles before A&M loses at least one more game.
I can guarantee you right now,
Articles?
if
How about this
A&M
guy?
beats Ole Miss, you will not see headlines that says, has Jimbo righted the
How about this
ship?
guy? Not this weekend, but next weekend. No, we're not. What?
Right, Casey A says, not this weekend, just waiting for Wake UNC. That'll be a track meet and a half between 2 Heisman candidates. I don't care.
Drake May is good. He's not going the Heisman. He's not a Heisman candidate.
He is a Heisman candidate.
By the
He's not.
way,
He is a Heisman candidate.
Define candidate, like top.
Top, as of right now, top 10.
Yeah. And
That'll get whittled down to top 5. If they go 11-1 and he's putting up numbers, he could beat in New York.
but
The thing they'll do
Katie,
if you're 11-1.
He'll be 40-1. He'll be 40-1 next year.
Yeah, no, next year, 100%. We
What?
don't have a defense.
No, he'll
to keep
be
the
be a
team.
lot higher than that. Sam Howell was like the favorite coming into last year. Like a North Carolina guy can be the favorite coming in.
You're right.
All right. Yes.
Katie did that, the going around the office asking people for the overrated Heisman contender. Did you watch that video?
I did.
Like everyone said Blake Corum for different reasons.
Well, that's the right answer. It's just not that
He's great,
I mean, he's a
but
running
he's-
back. Running backs don't win the award. Like it's easy.
But it was like
He is number 4.
eye-opening.
Who's number 5?
It's somebody. Is it Stetson?
Nope. It's someone who you've been on rants and rants. Shamir Gibbs.
I haven't been on rants and rants, but I do believe he is
You've been on
not
rants
nearly
and
as
he's
good as
not a top 3 running
I
back.
had a Brandon Walker.
He's a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's not a running back. He's not the tough running back. Jeb Stewart says Florida does what Mizzou should have, forces UGA into a sloppy game and wins by a field goal.
What?
That's not happening.
Who's the account we muted?
Probably somebody mean.
Okay.
Probably.
Let's see it.
I won't see it. We
Don't
won't say
see
we
it.
won't say their name if
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah.
to say it. Don't say
No,
it.
don't say it.
Don't say it.
I won't. But why did we
We can
after-
we'll
yeah.
explain after.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't remember him. Okay.
It's just like
It's not good.
All right, Zach Sox 2,400. Florida to rush for 300 yards and win by a field
Not
goal.
gonna happen.
But if you rush for 300 yards and only win by a field goal, something's wrong.
how about this guy gave us his entire card?
Every fave blog just gives his entire card. A&M plus 2.6. I assume he meant 2.5. He likes Eastern Michigan, Auburn, Iowa State, Virginia. He's just picking all dogs and hoping to hit a couple. Like, that's not an actual card.
Just pick the money line.
Andrew Wilson says, Old Dominion, because I don't know how Georgia State stops Allie Jennings. Also, Hudson is the best. All right. Hudson
is the best.
Very
Oh,
nice.
she's so
Hudson's better than Juice.
cute.
Much
Well, that's because
better.
Hudson's a puppy.
Well, it's all the goggles.
Elliot
and the
Geller
cross.
says,
Yeah.
liked Notre Dame and West Virginia, but so does the whole world. Let's go out of the box and say Nebraska. I'm kind
Okay.
of feeling that too. As much as I and everyone should love the Illinois story, they shouldn't be a 7.5-point favorites on the road. Chaos continues in the Big Ten West. I'm betting Nebraska. He's right. He's right.
He is right.
What
Illinois.
the fuck? Who tweeted this?
Who did this?
What, is this one of y'all's burners?
Ian Nichols says, great gift choice, Brandon. Well, that was Jack. first
Yeah.
of all. Does Oklahoma State count as an upset option considering they're a 1.5-point underdog according to Vegas? If not, I'll take A&M and the Fighting Aggies. Congrats on the baby, Casey. That's nice.
That is
And he
nice.
also has a picture of
How'd that photo get there?
A&M people with grabbing their
They're
own
grabbing
nuts.
their own
They're grabbing
nuts.
their own nuts. I
You
will
grab
say.
your own nuts all the time.
all the time.
It
I
Not
know.
the
doesn't
nuts.
count
I don't
as
grab the
grabbing.
nuts. That hurts.
No, they all grab their nuts. So you
Nobody actually grabs
keep-
their own nuts.
Oh,
Casey.
please.
Should
You
we
grab
get-
your
keep it.
penis, not your
Keep
nuts.
it not.
P-bibs.
Nuts hurt.
Every
You don't grab your
dude
nuts.
likes to touch their own nuts.
Do the side
it's more.
scratch.
It's more dick
Do
than
the
nuts.
side scratch.
I have a penis. I've had one for 43 years. I know.
I know, but you guys like to
Also,
hold your own nuts.
Can I just talk to you guys for about something? This is me, Jack, and Noah.
Yeah.
Nobody else is allowed to talk during
Triangle.
this conversation.
I know
Powerful
it's about-
It's
triangle.
us, okay? They are shocked. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Katie asked me to do a video for her. You can laugh. You can't talk. Katie asked me to do a video for her, and I was sitting like this, and she had a shot like here up. And in right here around the pants, I had 3 little driplets of urine, of pee. And she said, "Oh my God, you peed yourself. You're such a nasty." I was like,
I did
"Let me
not-
tell you
that
something."
was
Let-
me.
let-
I did.
Hey,
I did that.
let me,
Stop hollering.
I said, "Let me tell you something. Every guy in the world accidentally has a drip once every 5 or 6 times he pees. Like
Yes.
20% of the time, every guy in the world has a little droplet of pee
Because you
accidentally.
don't know, you guys don't
than
understand
a
that
drip.
if you forget about the driplets and
Yeah.
like at the end,
Yeah.
you sometimes you're in a rush and then it looks like you pissed your pants, but no, that's just like you know how there's
The penis will
pre-cum,
hold
it's
some back.
post pee, it's
Yes,
post pee.
It will
I
hold
get
some
that.
back on you. You don't know.
I get that, but here's my question.
Casey, even if you drip it, sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, but first of all, there were
stays wet.
there were guys in the office that said they don't have it because
Oh
they,
well, there.
I
Who
think-
was it?
No. I don't want to tell you what one of them said, okay? Let me tell you what one of them said. Do you know Rudy?
Oh yeah.
This motherfucker Rudy said, "Oh, it never happens to him because he takes a piece of toilet paper and wipes the head of his dick every time he pees." No, he does not. There's not a human man on this earth that takes a dab of toilet paper and wipes the head of his dick every time he pees.
There are more
He
guys-
is a lying piece of shit.
More guys will probably wash their hands after they pee than rub their dick with
And when
toilet
I
paper.
say
And no
every
guy
when I
washes
say
their
every
hands.
guy, like 20% of all guys do it, I do it like 50% of the time I pee. Younger guys probably do it like 25.
But this is what shocked me about the video because I understand, and I've heard this before. This is not new information.
No,
Again,
no.
we work at the largest adult frat house in the country. That's what Barstool Sports is. I've heard it all. I remember Dan coming on to CCK one time saying sometimes he wipes pee off the seat with his own socks. Okay, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's gross.
The league, pee
but
bibs.
what was surprising to me, which I did ask what you were wearing, is that you were wearing jeans. You weren't wearing gray sweatpants. You weren't wearing like the yoga Lulu pants. You were wearing full ass denim jeans and you had boxers on. So you're telling me that this quote tiny little dribble goes through your underwear and through denim?
It was not tiny.
That's a lot of dribble. Anybody else want to back me up on that?
That happens sometimes.
It
Go
happens. It fucking
through-
happens. I don't
no
know
one
what.
knows what I'm talking about.
No,
No one
he knows what we're talking about. Do you don't think
No
Noah's on
pressure,
your
Noah.
I promise you
No
Noah's on
pressure,
your
Noah.
team.
No. He knows what you guys are talking about. because I will say I did also ask, like, listen, I can get it if you're wearing gray
Noah,
sweatpants, denim, and boxers.
You don't have to say anything. Raise your right hand if you're on her side, left hand if you're on our side.
Both sides. He's
you're not
on
even
both
camera. You're not
sides.
even on
Both can
camera.
be true.
Got it. Okay.
Both can be true. You know, a little dribble.
Old Lefty Gomez over there.
A little dribble does not make it through underwear and full ass denim.
Look. There it is.
That's not a little dribble.
That's a
That's
standard
not
amount
a
of
little dribble.
It's right there.
It is not. How does that go through your boxers?
I've never seen this video.
And
I
your
agree
denim.
with Brandon 100%.
Yes.
How does it go through two?
It just
two
does.
layers?
It just does.
Like you're acting as if like
You look
Katie-
good in this video, by the way.
Yeah, you do. You look
Yeah,
really nice.
Look, you look healthy.
Your
Like a little
hair-
bit of a tan. Like
No,
you look good here.
You look fantastic.
All right, go. Get out of there.
But here's the thing, Katie. Just let me and you say this. There's been times where you've been somewhere where you've not been able to use toilet paper.
Okay,
Like
we're not going to talk about those things.
You're
those
not.
things are nasty.
You're not dripping through your pants.
No.
Dude, it's different.
It's
How?
different. It's a
We
projectile.
have
It's a
we have
hose.
thing that comes
It's
out
a
of us.
hose.
Where do you think our pee comes from?
It's a hose. Okay. All right. We got to talk about the Roughnecks tweets.
Coming out.
All right.
We have to drip dry sometimes. We're not going.
Cameron
through our
Collier
pants.
says Nebraska greater than Illinois had a bye week, and it's about time we beat a ranked opponent. Oh, Memorial will be rocking as we can't bring shooters anymore, thus more pregame.
Shooters? Oh.
Tater Thumper says Cal upsets Oregon at home. There's an interesting. Oregon will be caught sleeping after the big win against UCLA. Cal will sweep by in a close one and turn the Pac-12 upside down. I agree. That would turn the Pac-12 upside down. A lot of Nebraska over Illinois. There's Sarah S. Christine 8. Nebraska over Illinois because I don't trust being this content with Illinois being 6-1. So she is reverse jinxing herself. Sam Hurwitz. I think that Michigan overlooks MSU like they always do, and the Spartans play the best game they played all season, and Tuck is 3-0 against the Wolverines.
I don't think that they're going to
I
overlook
like that energy, though. It's good energy.
I don't think they're going to be overlooked. The rest of the tweet's true, but
It's possible, yeah.
Bob Pearson, Wazoo over Utah tonight. This is a big time one right here. Wazoo tonight, Thursday night, is only 7-point dogs at home against Utah. It's going to be a terrific Thursday night, 10 o'clock game. Wazoo over Utah tonight. This is a prime Pac-12 after dark game, ripe for chaos. There's something magical about Pullman, and the Cougar D at home has been good. They should have beaten Oregon at home. Cameron Kowaleski. As a Georgia fan, I'm scared for this weekend. I also think the UK-UT game will be close.
Okay.
Levi Tilden, Michigan State over Michigan, just because I think it'd be hilarious. It really would be.
It wouldn't be.
Why wouldn't it be? It would be hilarious.
Because I don't like Michigan State enough, and I don't want to hear Tuck coming one more.
Dude, that would be so funny.
The first person that I want to hear from if Michigan State wins, Jack.
But they're not going to. So.
They're not going to, but I think he would.
you'll hear from me.
It is
No,
still
it'll be-
hilarious.
it'll be
If
great
Michigan
content.
State beat Michigan, that would be fun.
I don't think.
Not
it'd be
not.
funny.
Oh, he
I
was
would.
wrong,
I would
but-
probably. I would have to turn off my mentions on Twitter. Like I
Oh, yeah,
wouldn't
you
go on
wouldn't.
Twitter. But like, yeah, would it be? No, it wouldn't be funny. No, who cares?
Raymond Bushy says PSU because they play Aller and get lucky. Okay. Keep going. What is this? He just used a Connor Griffin tweet.
Yeah.
2016. This is from BW Wallette, but it's a real Connor Griffin tweet.
Our in-house guy. Yeah.
2016, Penn State got thrashed by Michigan in Ann Arbor, rebounded by beating Minnesota at home, then went on to beat number 2 Ohio State in Beaver. 2022, Penn State got thrashed by Michigan in Ann Arbor, rebounded by beating Minnesota at home, and now we face number 2 Ohio State in Beaver. Okay, as long as Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley walk through that door, I will believe you. What are you doing?
Nothing. Sorry.
We'll show you.
I don't like when they do this shit.
I don't know if I feel comfortable showing him that.
Andrew Noble says, Brandon, I know you like the Hogs minus 3.5, but I think Auburn knocks them off. Auburn still plays hard for Harsin and played LSU and Ole Miss close. Auburn will get an SEC win. I think Saturday around 2 p.m. Central they'll get it. That's a win-win for me because I'm going to bet Arkansas. But
Yeah.
You get to make fun of
Arkansas
him.
losing to Auburn would be hilarious.
Yeah, it is a win-win for you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, completely like all the Arkansas.
Arkansas's
games,
out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, they don't matter anymore. Brandon LaForte, Aggies over Rebels. Aggies need to make a statement that will help save recruits from leaving. Agreed. Desperation and hope. Desperation and hope. Desperation and hope. That's the Aggies
We have
next
to put
month.
desperation until we have the like hope, apathy.
Oh, desperation's a big one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get you the desperation rant coming up.
Well, that second
Gunners-
to last one, what's the problem?
Reese's Cups fan 69 says, calling your listeners Roughnecks? Chill. Shut up, you punk bitch. Gunnar Stahl says, West Virginia, public going to see 7th ranking in the country and hammer minus 7 on TCU and going to get embarrassed when WVU wins outright. I agree. All right. Tyler Guy says PSU because OSU is soft. I didn't like that one as much.
Am I missing something with the Roughnecks?
They just
Just
don't know.
somebody being stupid.
His name's Reese's Cup Fan 69. Like, who knows?
I do. You know what?
How
Both
many?
things are
One
pretty good.
follower or 0 followers? What do you bet? I
Two.
bet
I
three.
say 2.
I say 0. 6. Wow, 6. Doing
I
good.
love peanut butter and chocolate, buddy, when they are together.
That is a good statement.
Also, Reese's cups are delicious. Goes
I think
back to what we were saying.
Trader Joe's dark chocolate ones.
My name is
yeah,
Brandon
so
Walker.
good.
That is Casey Smith
69
and
also
Katie
good.
Stats and Jack. And as always, Noah on the 1s and 2s. Anything else?
USC ranks 70th right now in recruiting for 2022.
Also, we don't have any 5 stars. I just checked our.
Oh,
UNC.
wait, I was looking at the wrong one.
All right. We'll see you next time.